And now, here's your host, Shiloh Sellers.
Hello, and welcome to tonight's episode of Sooner Sports Pad. I'm your host, Shiloh Sellers. Now, the third game will take place at the Chesapeake Energy Arena, and we all know anything can happen at home for the Thunder. I mean, we beat Texas. That's all anybody really cares about, right?
Do we need to say more?
However, I think we should go ahead and say more. I want to know what they can bring into next game that you saw this past Saturday. In front of the David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium, or the home of the Kansas Jayhawks. That's the easy way to put it.
It is.
The Sooners will be here tomorrow for their game against the Jayhawks. Christian, what do you think is important for the Sooners going into tomorrow's game? Missed opportunities and bear claws. We're not talking donuts, we're talking men's basketball. Just a toddler, 3-year-old Shay Knighton wanted to be just like her older sister and followed in her footsteps all the way to the diamond.
It can be pinball or football.
The reflexes by Parker are insane. He had 6 catches for 134 yards on the night, but that is, it's safe to say that catch was by far his most impressive.
Yeah, and a couple big...
Disgruntled at that. Well, guys, do you know what time it is?
Viral video time!
All right,
God, that was the
show
coolest
me
thing
your
ever.
viral videos.
First of all, that was awesome. I didn't see that one coming. I loved it.
Synchronization.
Creed Humphrey, I'm calling you out. I mean,
I can hear you.
Please be careful. Oh my God.
Hey, I want him to be a leader. That's the biggest thing. We got so lucky with our offensive line last season. Welcome back. Last night, Sooner baseball knocked backs with Oral Roberts and won 5-2. By the top of the third, both teams were tied up 2-2, but it didn't stay that way for long. Senior second baseman Kyle Mendenhall heated the Sooners up for the win, singling out the left side for an RBI. Then a big triple for number 1 himself, Kyler Murray, rocketed out to center for 2 runs. The boys are looking good on the road. Let's hope they can keep it, moving down to Fort Worth for a series against the Horned Frogs. The biggest question has been with the Sooner defense, and finally, Ruffin McNeil gave us an answer. The boys looked really solid, defensively breaking up that offensive line. Now, going up against an offense like K-State, they should be able to shine and blow them out of the water. I think the Sooners will dominate in a 52-21 victory. We should all know by now the OU women's gymnastics team picked up another national title over the weekend. But earlier this semester, Sports Pad Shiloh Sellers showed us how senior Brenna Dow overcame adversity to own her own move. Let's take a look.
As we all know, making your dreams come true is never an easy feat. But as the old saying goes, if you don't succeed the first time, try again. As a young gymnast, Brenna Dow trained under the great Al Fong, who taught Dow both technique and how to push the boundaries.
In my level 10 season, I think I was around like 12, I learned a double front, and after that it was just kind of like, what's next after that? Because you don't just want to like stop.
It turned out the next step for Brenna was adding a double pike. The result? A skill never before competed in women's gymnastics.
I had to like go submit the skill to the code of points because it wasn't in there yet.
The double front double pike presented Brenna with an opportunity to get the skill named after her, an opportunity only few gymnasts ever receive.
And so one of my biggest goals throughout my elite career was to get it named after me. And in order to do that, you have to compete at Worlds or Olympics.
In 2013, Brenna got her first chance to make her dream come true by earning a spot on the USA gymnastics team. But due to a rule limiting number of competitors, a switch in the roster took away Brenna's chance to compete and to accomplish her goal. She then made a short detour to Norman, Oklahoma, before giving it one last shot.
And then I took a year off after my freshman year to pursue kind of making the world team was a big goal for me, and also to get the double pike named after me called the Dowel.
In that year off, Dow made the USA world team once again, competing on bars and floor. But during her qualifying round, the unthinkable happened. A technical glitch and miscommunication resulted in a rarity in the gymnastics world: no music.
I don't know if I was hearing things or what, but I thought I heard Marta or someone in the audience say, just go, just go. So I like ran onto the floor because there were like 5 seconds left and I didn't want to get a 0.
Dow danced to the beat of claps resonating from the audience as she successfully finished her routine and landed her double front, double pike, now known as the Dowel.
you know, every time Brenna goes out on the floor or any event, I know she's going to hit it because she's so mentally strong and also so physically strong. Her gymnastics is just so powerful and also graceful at the same time.
Despite the obstacles, Brenna powered her way to success, a moment she will never forget.
I've been doing that skill for so long, and it was just always my dream to have it be called the dowel. So then whenever I competed it and knew that I was going to have my name next to it in the code of points, it was just one of the most special things. It was awesome.
Bruna is in her senior year, and with only 2 months of gymnastics left, she says she's excited for her life after gymnastics. Next up, she plans to go to graduate school. Shiloh Sellers, Sooner Sports Pad. Van Imberg is a well-known name in the tennis community. However, here in Norman, it's not Greg, but his son Jake serving up the heat on the courts.
My dad played on the tour for 10 to 12 years, so it kind of runs in the family a little bit. I started when I was like 3-4 years old, swinging a racket, so ever since the beginning, really.
Jake's dad, Greg, retired with a career-high rank of 28th in the world. He went on to coach the University of Wisconsin's men's tennis team and would later coach Jake at the famous IMG Academy in Florida.
It's tough. They're not easy footsteps to fill, you know, they're big footsteps, so it takes a lot of hard work, and there's a lot of expectation from him and from other people because of who my dad is, so it makes things a little bit harder, but it also makes things easier too, with the sense that he can coach me and that I trust him and he knows the game, and that it helps having someone on your side that knows the game really well.
Jake graduated from IMG as one of their top-rated players. Penn State, Kentucky, Tennessee, Northwestern, and the University of Oklahoma, all interested in Jake's talents, but only one place really felt like home.
OU was just, I don't know, I came here, I said to myself before I went on my visits that I would know where I wanted to be kind of after the visit, you know what I mean? And I visited Penn State, I visited Florida, I visited a few schools, and I just kind of knew after visiting here, meeting the guys and seeing the environment and the people that I wanted to come.
The sophomore business major had a breakout freshman year last fall, finishing 16-3 on the season, leading the Sooners in single wins. He went on to go undefeated in Big 12 play, clinching a 4-3 win for the Sooners in the Bedlam Series. Tennis practically running through his veins, Jake's young career has been very successful, a big feat for any freshman. But for those who know Jake well, his success is no surprise.
Jake's a very powerful guy. I think he walks in a room and everybody notices Jake. Jake's very personable. People really like to be around Jake. He's a fun guy. On the court, he plays with a lot of energy, plays with a lot of fire. He's the type of guy you want on your team because he's always firing up and motivating the other guys.
He's a unique one. He's definitely a character you won't meet again in your life, but I've had a lot of great times with the kid. We've been best friends. He's been like a brother to me since, I don't know how long, 11, 12 years old. And we've both just been growing up, and I've seen him become a great tennis player.
Jake's most recent domination took place at the ITA National Summer Championships, where he again went undefeated, taking home the first place singles title. Up next, Jake heads to Tulsa for the ITA Men's All-American Championship in October. Shiloh Sellers, Sooner Sports Pad.
Shiloh Sellers joins us with a preview. Shiloh?
Thank you, Carly. We have an exciting, action-packed OU Texas recap show for you tonight. We'll go one-on-one with Mr. 3TD, that's CD to you and me, and we go inside one of our favorite OU Texas traditions. Also, 2 of our top women's tennis players stop by the studio. And if you missed tonight's show, you can catch the replay right here on OU TV tomorrow after our newscast. Back to you, Carly.
But there's not going to be a game on Saturday, and that's the really sucky part. Hey, it's okay. Even though there's not a game, these boys are still going to put in some work.
I'm not sure if I've ever predicted the exact score of an OU game. I'm willing to try again, and Shiloh, I know that you are too. What do you think the final score of the game is going to be on Saturday?
So I don't think TCU's offense will do much of anything, and even though the state of the Sooners' defense is very questionable right now, I think as far as Kyler Murray goes, I think he can handle TCU's defense. I think that he'll come in just like Baker used to. I'm guessing 45-10. Sooners, of course, are on top. Also, we haven't spoke on
but it's hot. We have a heat wave right now going on. Yeah. And one thing
the weather
that
followed us from Oklahoma.
Right. One thing that we've talked about before on the show is the needed depth on defense when it comes to the Sooners. How do you think playing in this heat is going to affect that defense and how well they do?
I mean, it's a good point you.
Ready? Yes. On your marks. Let's roll.